see, it is like 9:30 in the morning. I started work at 7, and in the last half an hour I was asked to, word for word, I need you to go clock out. And then I did. And then he tried to, like 5 minutes later, say, oh, I need you to pull your drawer. And this happened because a lady who I haven't met before came in. I guess she must have come in, I don't know, around 9. And we're working in the same department, which I have not been trained well for at all. And I'm doing my best at. And today there's a problem with the men's bathroom, and the men's bathroom is being replaced by using 4 different shower stalls, and that's creating quite a line. And before this lady, Janae, had come in today, Terrence, the manager, had told me more than once to use the intercom because the cash register for diesel is, in close proximity to where the men were standing in line, and often they were not forming a line, they were just kind of going on because they don't know, and there's no signage to tell them to stop. And so he told me, someone actually suggested it to him, Kiki said, Terrence, can you call out and let the men know they need to stop here? And so instead he said, Geneva, can you please? And so he put that on me, and that was before Janae had come in. And so I kind of looked at him like a little bit like, okay, like I don't exactly know what to say, but I did my best and said it. And then he had me say it again, and there kept being a problem. And I was suggesting to get a wet sign that's tall and thin and stick it over, not in the doorway, not where it would be blocking anything, but just over as an indicator, because I was trying to use as an indicator for the men over the intercom. I was trying to use the word showers, which is in metallic lettering above the doorway. But when we walk, we don't naturally look up above the height of the door, top of the doorway. So something to be a marker that would be more like in a normal eye range, like waist level, I thought would be a good idea. But this lady, Janae, was like, oh, it's okay, baby, you don't need to do any of that. And she just started talking down to me, which of course she denies that. She said she calls everybody baby, she's from the South. But I told her, after she raised her voice at me and referred to me as her baby multiple times and was just talking very disrespectfully to me, I said, we haven't met, but I'm going to let you know that we're going to be respectful to each other, and it's going to be mutual. And it just went all downhill from there. And not only did Terrence not support me as the new person, but he, right in front of her, ends up within 10 minutes telling me to clock out. And I said, my situation, here's my situation. I'm currently homeless, but I have never lived on the streets. I have been a mom to 9 children for 28 years. I'm leaving domestic abuse. I'm living currently in a hotel, and I don't know how I'm going to make the next week's hotel rent. I had savings. I've been there for months, and the savings have run out, and so I was very desperate for a job. I've been trying to get a job, and I finally got this job. I have to take a taxi here both ways, and that means that today, once I pay for the taxi to go back home, I have actually made nothing. He's going to send me home like this because I said that this is too much stress. They're not paying me enough to be talked to the way she's speaking to me, because as I'm trying to set a boundary and let this woman who does not know me that I'm not okay with the way you're speaking to me, and all she's doing is making excuses for herself that she's from the South, that's why she calls everybody baby. And I said, well, in conjunction with your voice being raised, I'm not okay with it. And she just kept going on and on and on, and Terrence didn't correct her or say anything. He just he said, okay, you're saying it's too stressful? And I said, to be talked to that way, I'm not getting paid enough money, that this is not okay. And what I'm saying is not for me to go home and not for me to quit or be fired. That's not what I'm saying. My point is I did not deserve to be spoken to in the tone and manner that she is speaking to me. And therefore I am being my own advocate, and I am standing up for myself, and I am letting this woman know, you are not going to speak to me like that. You might, I didn't say this to her, but this is what, essentially this is what I'm saying, but I didn't say these words, because I wasn't looking to have drama and all this crap. what I'm essentially letting her know is, you may get away with speaking to other people that way, but you don't get away with speaking to me that way. I will require mutual respect. I give respect, and it was not disrespectful. Anything that I said to her was not disrespectful. I don't call people names. I just don't do that at all. But I certainly don't call people names or curse at work or anything like that. But I don't call people names as a rule. That's my personal. I don't think it's ever acceptable to call someone like a bitch. Never, no matter what they do. I treat people with respect because I respect myself, and I don't talk down to people. I do firmly believe in bringing matters of concern to management, or if it's outside of work, I believe in confronting someone in a face-to-face conversation if you have a problem, and trying to work through it. And then you learn that with some people you really can't, and I'm meaning more outside of a work situation, that sometimes people just, and then those people need to kind of drop away from being maybe your friend or whatever position they filled. But me being sent home, and him knowing that I don't even know how I'm going to pay, even with working. I don't know how, because it's piddling. They didn't have my resume. I have management experience. I have a lot of experience, and they're paying me just bare minimum. And yet the system, when I was being hired, said they had received my resume, and I got a call the next day, and I find out several days later, after the hiring, that they had never seen my resume. So I sent him my resume again and showed him the notification through the system where I had gotten that they had received it, that it had been a successful upload. And none of that mattered, and no one said, oh, you have a lot of management experience, we're going to raise your pay to this amount. I feel that would have been fair. But, this manager, Terrence, has just recently decided that he's not going to leave. But even with his management pay, it's been so much. He hasn't even been here a year, and he's told me personally in private conversations that it's just too much. He can't get a weekend off, and it's just too much. And I have spoken with him about how they seem to be understaffed, and there seem to be a lot of people in training, but there doesn't seem to really be anything in the way of real training. Like today, I'm left and the scale thing is beeping on a screen. I haven't been trained in any of that, nothing. And I'm and I'm looking around to see who I can ask, and at that time, I don't know where Terrence was, and Janae had not come in yet. It was earlier this morning, and the only person was Kiki, and I had to get Kiki, and she had been back there cleaning the showers, and she, was trying to tell me, to put in my PIN, which they haven't given me a 4-digit PIN, so that my PIN didn't work. So then I had to put in her PIN, and there's just really just no, there's just a real lack of proper training. And even on my first day, I do have retail experience, so I was okay because of owning my own business and being very savvy with cash handling. But even on my first day at work, when I was on the coffee side, I was left without anyone, and I didn't even know how to use the intercom system at that point. No walkie-talkie, no I'm going to be here if you need me. No anything. And people came in with the lottery. I haven't been trained on the lottery, and there were several things. I can figure out a lot. I can figure out where the cigarettes are, and I'm not familiar with. I don't smoke and stuff, but there are so many problems on so many levels. But this lady thinking that she can raise her voice at me and speak down to me, and then the boss he didn't, not once, he didn't stay neutral. And then for him to send me home, and then me say, as a reminder, you do know the situation, man, and he knows what I mean. I'm homeless. I desperately need these hours so I can pay my weekly rent, and it doesn't matter. And just like me not wanting my picture taken and put on the website because of domestic abuse, I sent an email early this morning before work around 5:50. I also addressed some major cross-contamination concerns in a separate email, have never been responded to. That was 5 days ago. There's a lot of problems here, and I'm a hard worker. I got in there and cleaned 6 showers in assembly line fashion this morning. I get in there, I'm the kind of person, and that's why I own my own business, and that's why I've been a mother to 9 children, successfully, educating them, and, basically being a governess nanny, cooking from scratch for over 25 years, like every day, like just managing a lot because I'm a go-getter. I naturally have, I naturally look to see. I don't need someone to tell me. But there are things that I don't know yet because I have never worked with them, like scales or the lottery, and probably a lot of things on the diesel side. This is only my third day in diesel, and it's still early in the morning. So there's a lot of just kind of he has said to me so many times when it's like maybe been my fourth day or my third day. Yesterday he said something to this effect, and I reminded him that this is only my second day over in diesel, and I wasn't even in gas for a whole week. That he will say something like, "Oh, you don't know how to do," and I'm like, "I haven't." I think it was with the washer and dryer, which I figured out the dryer this morning by myself, but the washer is more of an industrial wash machine, and obviously I wouldn't want to mess it up or anything, and so like I had asked him, he was taking some stuff back to wash yesterday, and I said, should I come with you so I can learn how to operate the washer and dryer? And he was like, oh, you haven't? And that's what it is. People keep saying this. I mean, I'm telling you, my first and second day, people who work there, including management, will make these comments like, oh, you don't know how to do it. And I have tried numerous times. I have written emails. I have tried numerous times to speak to both Terrence and Amy, because Tika is out because of a death in the family, and I only met her in my interview. But I have tried to say, like, I'm a go-getter, I'm a hard worker, but like I really feel like there isn't like a practical level of training. Like, he was like, yesterday he said, oh, well, there's a whole lot of videos you need to watch, and that'll be teaching you da 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 da. And the only videos I got through yesterday were things that in the last week I've had to just figure out. And there wasn't anything yet, like if there is a video about how to ring up a customer for the scales or some of these other things on the diesel side, I haven't yet seen those videos. I had to work through the ones that were the most overdue, and I got a number of them done yesterday, but it was more like how to clock in and out, which obviously I've figured that out by now. And I'm very big on respect, and just during my interview, within just a minute of talking to me, he said out loud, he said, he said it in front of Tika, he said, oh, there's a certain level of professionalism. And see, I thought he had my resume, and I thought he understood that I have been a business owner, and but he didn't. But yes, there's a certain level of professionalism. I have attended some college, but I have not completed college, but it's just me, who I am, and I'm really big on respect, and I feel very disrespected and unsupported, and I'm just completely by myself trying to advocate for myself, and I'm not okay with this. And for him to just send me home and knowing that I'm pretty much absolutely making nothing today, this is not okay. He did not say anything to her about, yes, we really shouldn't refer to the other employees as baby, and can you see how that might be taken in a negative light, and yes, your voice is still rather raised, so I can see why she feels like you're yelling at her. No, nothing like that was said. And I feel like that was favoritism, because as this lady said, she's been here 4 years and everybody likes her. And I'm just like, of course, it's kind of like, it's like blame shifting. It's like, I get to talk however to you, and I've been here for 4 years and everyone likes me, so you must be the problem, essentially is what she was alluding to. And I'm just, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.